Dear students, this is the fourth part of valuation of securities, unit number 1 of advanced financial management. We know in unit number 1 we covered concept of value, then further we covered basic valuation model, we covered bond valuation. Now in a bond valuation, what topics are there? Basic bond valuation model we covered with the example. Also we covered bond value theorems 1A, B, C and part number 2, and best diagram I gave you. The premium and discount both are declining as maturity period nearer that we discussed in detail about that. Also we discussed yield to maturity. Have a look on this yield to maturity. In that we covered the meaning of the yield to maturity, and also we covered the formula, that is C plus F minus P upon N divided by F plus P upon 2. That we already discussed with the example of YTM. 2 examples we covered. Now we are coming to the new topic, that is bond valuation with semi-annual interest. Now semi-annual means what? Semi-annual means half yearly they are making the payment of interest. Suppose we may say 12% bond. So 12% bond of rupees 1000. So they are making payment half yearly. That is known as semi-annual. Annually they are going to make the payment of interest. So at 12% the whole year becomes 1120, but they are making payment for 6 months. So 60 rupees is paid after 6 months. Another period complete after 6 months, another they will get the 60 rupees. So in this case, valuing bonds that pay interest semi-annually involves 3 steps. We have to understand these steps: how to convert bonds annual interest, that is to semi-annual interest, means divide I by 2. I means interest rate. I means what? Interest rate divided by 2. Suppose you have 12% divided by 2, so it is nothing but 6%. Understood the point? I divide I by 2. Interest will be divided by 2. 12 divided by 2 is equal to 6% for the 6 months. Right? Convert the years to maturity, means life of the bond, N, to semi-annual periods. Now for in a 1 year you will find 2 periods because 2 payments are there. That is why multiply N by 2. Suppose you have 7 years life of the bond, multiply by 2, so you will find 14 periods, not years, periods. 1 year is equal to 2 period because 6 months plus 6 months is equal to 1 year. So 2 periods are there. So we have to multiply N by 2. In a interest we have to divide by 2. Here we have to multiply by 2. Same way, convert annual required return, rate of return, that is the RRR, discounting factor, to semi-annual discount rate, that is nothing but divide triple R by 2. Suppose 10% is the required rate of return. That will be divided by 2. So for one period it is 5%. Interest rate is 6%. Period is not 7 years but 14 periods, we may say. So this thing we have to understand when the company is making payment semi-annually or half yearly. that you will understand by this simple example. So example number 1, please write down, please use your note, calculator we required, right? So a 8-year bond, years bond of rupees 1000 carrying interest rate of 12%. The interest is paid semi-annually. In examination, they will ask this type of example of 5 marks. So we have to understand here. So semi-annually, if the required rate of return is 14%, find value of bond. So this is very simple one sentence example, and we are going to solve within 3 or 4 minutes, and you will get 5 marks, 4 marks as per the case may be. Now see here, what we are doing, we are writing first of all data, whatever data is given to us in this particular example. P0 means price of bond today is equal to rupees 1000. Done, 1000 is there. Interest rate 12%, that we have to divide by 2. See above, it is given that the interest rate should be divided by 2 is equal to 6%. Is it? Required rate of return is 14%. Divided by 2 is equal to 7%. 14 divided by 2 means 7%. And N means life of the bond is given 8. 8 multiplied by 2 is equal to 16 periods, not years, periods. So this thing, first of all, we have to do by this way. Again, I am repeating, interest rate should be divided by 2. Required rate of return is divided by 2. And N, life of the bond, that years multiply by 2 is equal to the answer you will get. So to divide, we have divide two things. One, interest rate, second, required rate of return. We have to multiply only one thing, that is the life of the bond. So that will be multiplied by 2. Is it clear? So how many periods are here? We have 16 periods. Is it clear? Okay. Then further, now we have to use the table, just like capital budgeting. We, for finding the NP, we found this, we are using this table, right? So periods, we are not writing here year, but we are writing what? Periods. Cash flow, discounting factor at not 14% but 7%, and present value. So 1-15 up to this 15 periods, you will find 15 period means how many years are there? 7.5 year. Means multiply by 2, you will find 15 periods. 1 year is equal to 2 period. So 7 up to 7.5, you will get 6% interest on 1000 rupees bond. So it becomes 60 rupees. 1000 multiplied by 6% is equal to rupees 60. Discounting factor at 7% for 15 periods is 9.108. Annuity table of rupee 1, if you are going to refer for 15, on this side 15 is there, and 7%, you will find this factor 9.108. This annuity table is given at the end of standard books. I am Pandey, Prasanna Chandra, Khan and Jain, R.M. Srivastava, this type of different M.R. Agrawal, different books we are using for this type of valuation of security. So 60 multiplied by 9.108 is equal to find 546.48. Calculate karo. Please calculate 60 multiplied by annuity factor at 7% for 15 is 9.108. So answer is 546.48. Then 16th period. 16th period means last 6 months of the 8 years. 16th period, you will get 1000 back plus 60 rupees. 1000 means face value, whatever you invested, that 1000 rupees will be redeemed at the end of the life of the, we can say, bond. So 1000 plus 60 is equal to 1060. So 7% present value table now refer, and for 16th period you will get 0.339. How to find out the factor, that also I explained you number of times by using the calculator, that 1 divided by 1.07 is equal to first year, then equal to second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year, and go up to 16, you will get 0.339. Please try with the help of calculator. So you will find 0.339. You are understanding how to find out the factors when periods are same, means cash flows are same. So we are just clubbing the period 1-15. That is why we are using the annuity factor, right? So 0.339 comes for the 16th period. So multiply by 1060, your answer is 359.34. Make total of these two. Sigma PV is 905.82. 905.82. This is your present value of bond of rupees 1000. So is it available by 905.82? You may go for the buying of this bond. This type of present value help us to buy or not. That question is answered with the help of this valuation. Why it is 905.82? Why? Because we know the theorems. In theorems, we know very well that when required rate of return is higher than coupon rate of interest, at that time you will find value of bond is below par. Below par means below 1000. It is 905.82. So let's take one more example. Please concentrate well. Example number 2. A 7-year bond of rupees 500 carrying interest rate of 12%. Interest rate is 12%. The interest is paid semi-annually. If the required rate of return is 10%, find value of bond. Now here the period is changed, 7 years instead of 8 years, 1000 instead of 1500. Coupon rate of interest is 12%, that is paid semi-annually. Required rate of return is 10%. Find value of bond. Now see, required rate of return is less than coupon rate. So your value of bond should be higher than 500 as per theorems whatever we discussed above. Now let's start with this. P0 is equal to rupees 500. Write down please. Present value of bond means P0. Today value is what? Rupees 500. Interest rate is equal to 12% divided by 2 is equal to 6. Because we have divided the interest rate and the required rate of return. Required rate of return 10% divided by 2 is equal to 5%. And life is 7 years. Multiply by 2 is equal to 14 periods. In last example, 16 periods. And here is 14 periods. Now prepare the table again. Please draw the table. Please draw the table and write down periods, cash flow, discounting factor at 5%, and present value. We have 14 periods. Up to 13 periods we will get interest on 500 rupees bond at 6%. the interest is rupees 30. 500 multiplied by 6% is equal to rupees 30. Discounting factor, annuity factor we have take here at 5%. Please refer 13 and 5%. 13 on left side and 5% above, and get the answer 9.394. 9.394. Multiply by 30, you will get 281.82. This is the present value of interest up to 13 periods. But we have 14 periods. So in 14th period, we will get 500 back plus 30 rupees of the last 6 months. So it becomes 530. So now we have to refer the present value for 14th period. At 5%, you will find 0.505. 0.505. How to find out? Now you know, because number of examples we covered, so how to find out the discounting factor is very important. So here first is annuity factor, second is the present value factor, 0.505. Multiply with the 530, you will get 267.65. Make total of these two. Please make total. How much? 549.47. So see here, it is above 500 or not. So our theorems we are keeping in our mind 1A, B, C. When both are equal, answer of the present value is equal to par. When required rate of return is greater than interest rate, the answer is below par of the bond. And last, when required rate of return is less than interest rate, so automatically your value of the bond is higher than par value. A, B, C theorem that we already discussed, and on that base we know in advance that our answer should be more than the par value. Now see here, your 10% is your required rate of return. 10% is the required rate of return or minimum expected rate from the investment today. And we are getting 12%. So it is more than the required rate or expected rate. So naturally, the value of bond is higher because the bond is earning 12% more, extra 2% than minimum required rate availing in a market. So in a market it is 10% and we are getting 12%. So this asset or this investment is more fruitful to us. That is why we have to understand this logic. The logic of relationship between required rate of return and coupon rate or interest rate. Is it clear? So in a bond valuation, what we covered, again we are going back, and please see that in a bond valuation we covered number of aspects. Have a look on these aspects. Just remember basic bond valuation model, bond value theorems we covered, yield to maturity also we covered, and last one we covered bond values with semi-annual interest. Is it clear? Bond valuation, third point of our unit number 1. First we covered meaning concept of value. Then basic valuation model we covered. And last we covered bond valuation. Please look here properly. Step by step we are covering the syllabus. So bond valuation we completed. Now we are coming to the present value of preference share. Fourth point of the syllabus, that is present value of preference share. That you will find it here. What is preference share? Yes, please. Preference shares issued by what? Issued by joint stock company for raising share capital from the public. Share capital from the public, like equity share. Equity share and preference share both are own capital, while debentures and bonds and long-term loans are the borrowed fund. Here, equity and preference holders are the owners. So this logic we have to understand properly. The nature of the capital, that is very important to understand. It may be redeemable preference share or irredeemable preference share. So it's the nature, it's a type of preference share. Maybe redeemable like a debenture or bond. Just above we discussed bond, that redeemable after 7 years, 8 years. Same way, preference shares may be redeemable or irredeemable. Irredeemable means it is forever. We are not going to pay the money back to the preference shareholders up to the life of the company. That is known as the irredeemable preference shares. Is it clear? The value of preference shares also is generally determined through the capitalization technique. Now we have to go for the capitalization technique. So further, just we have to keep in our mind, capitalization means what? Whatever dividends are available on the investment, that will be capitalized again and again. So capitalized technique is applied for valuation of preference share. So further what says, the process of determination of the present value of preference share is the same as that of bond or debenture. Just we have to change the two things. One, instead of bond, we have to write down the preference share. And instead of interest, we have to write down preference dividend rate. Here we are giving the dividend, while to debenture or bonds we are giving interest. Interest is what? Interest is given for the borrowed fund, while to the own fund we are giving dividend. So dividend is from profits remain after all expenses. So profit whatever remain with us, from that we have to pay the dividend. So these two difference we have to understand. Is it? Again I am repeating. In debenture or bond we are paying interest. In a preference share we are giving the dividend. Is it clear? The processor determination of the present value. Process or determination. Process or, just keep the gap, or determination of the present value of a preference share can be considered under two heads. Two heads, namely when preference share is redeemable. And second is what? When preference share is irredeemable. There are two types of preference share I told you earlier. Redeemable and irredeemable. In these two situations, how to calculate the value of preference share, that we are seeing one by one. Present value of a redeemable preference share can be determined by estimating its future cash flows. Now estimating future cash flows are easier, just like debenture or bond. In debenture and bond, we know the 12% interest is declared, is fixed. We know in advance. Same way, in a preference share also, the dividend rate is fixed when it is issued to the public. Maybe 10%, 12%, 14%. So when we know in future what return will come perfectly, when we estimate, so it's very easy to calculate the present value of the any security. Present value of security is depending on future benefits, future cash flows. When you are able to estimate the future benefit, certainly I think it is very easy to calculate the valuation of debenture, bond, or preference share. That is why here it is said present value of redeemable preference shares can be determined by estimating its future cash flows and then discounting the estimated future cash flows at an appropriate capitalization rate. ऊपर આવી ગયું તો capitalization method rate or discount rate. Discount rate is also known as the capitalization rate. Is it clear? So capitalized rate means same discount rate we applied to the bond and debentures, and also we are applying the same thing. Only we have to make some change, that is instead of interest we have to now use the word preference dividend. The estimated future cash flows from the preference share consist of the stream of future dividend payments. Future dividend payments plus the par value of the preference share. Plus, you understood, par value of preference share, that is we are getting refund in a irredeemable preference share. But in a irredeemable preference share or perpetual or an irredeemable or forever, this capital we are keeping with us, with company, that is known as the irredeemable or perpetual or forever, we have to keep this capital. So how to calculate this? First of all, this type of shares when you have, at that time we have to simply apply very small formula. V0, value at 0 period, is equal to DP. DP means dividend of preference share, divided by KP. That is, KP means what? Cost of capital of preference share or discounting factor of preference share, where V0 is equal to present value of the preference share, DP annual dividend payment on the preference share. Dividend payment rupees માં આવશે. Suppose 12% on 100 rupees, so here we have write down rupees 12, divided by what says KP, capitalization rate or discounting rate. Is it clear? ફક્ત બે વસ્તુ જોઈએ, dividend rupees and discounting factor or required rate of return. Simple example we are taking, rupees 100 14% preference shares, 100 14% preference share, 12% discounting rate, market value is rupees 90, find value of preference share. This preference share available in the market at rupees 90, right? So here we can get the idea of the value of the preference share, that we have to buy at 90 rupees or not. So V0 is equal to DP upon KP. DP upon KP. DP means dividend 14% of rupees 100. તો કેટલું આવશે? rupees 14 divided by discounting factor 0.12. ચલો ગણો ફટાફટ. rupees 14 divided by 0.12 is equal to rupees 116.67. This is the present value of the preference share, and it is available market by rupees 90. So we have to buy or not? Naturally, we have to buy this preference share at rupees 90. It is more beneficial to us. That is why we are finding the value of the preference share. Is it clear? Why it is 116.67? Because the dividend rate is more than required rate of return. That is why more than face value, you are going to find the value of the preference share. This is simple formula you have to apply for irredeemable, or second one name perpetual. Perpetual means this capital company will remain up to the life of the business. No refund is there during the life of the business. So a very simple formula we applied and we found the value of the irredeemable preference share. Now second is when preference share is redeemable. Just like debenture or bond, remember. So when preference share is redeemable, so we are able to estimate future cash flows very easily. As per the future dividend payment plus the par value of the preference share, we are able to find properly. And we require the discounting factor. Same thing you will find in example. Please have a look on example. Rupees 100, 14% preference shares, comma, 13% discounting rate. Market value is 90. The preference shares are redeemable after 7 years. See in a last example, life is not given. And here the life is given redeemable after 7 years. Find value of preference shares. Find value of preference share. So we can find very easily, just like a bond. Year 7 years છે બરાબર છે, up to 1-6 year you will get 14% on rupees 100, so 14 rupees. So discounting factor at 13%, annuity factor for 6 years is 3.997. Multiply with the 14, you will get 55.96. જરા ગણતરી કરો, હું રાહ જોઈને બેઠો છું, ગણતરી કરો. Do yourself, calculate. ટેબલ બનાવીને પ્રોપર લખો. So 14 multiplied by 3.997. Answer present value is 55.96. 7th year we will get 100 back, just like a bond or debenture, plus 14 interest 114, and discounting factor is 0.425 for 7th year at 13%. Annuity factor table and discounting factor table readily available at the end of standard books, and with the help of calculator, how to calculate that also I explained number of times. So 114 multiplied by 0.425 is equal to 48.45. Make total of these two. So we will find sigma present value is equal to 104.41. It is above par value 104.41. But here we are using what? Dividend. The word dividend we are using here. So 14% preference share. It means that preference share is carrying 14% dividend, not interest. Number of students are making mistake here. They are using the word 14% interest. But interest is not, but it is what? 14% dividend. Because preference share is own capital, not a borrowed capital. Right? Now one more example I am taking to understand this. Rupees 100, 14% preference shares, 17% discounting rate. Now see here, 14% dividend મળે છે and discounting rate 17% છે. તો વેલ્યુ કેવી મળશે આપણને? લેસ દેન 100. માર્કેટ વેલ્યુ ઇઝ 90. પહેલામાં 90 હતી, તો વી કેન બાય because present value is 104, so it is available by 90 rupees, so we can go for the buying. Now let's see here, in this situation we have to buy this preference share or not. So The preference shares are redeemable after 7 years. Find value of the preference share. Everything is same, but discounting factor is changed from 13% to 17%. So 14 rupees dividend is available, and discounting factor at annuity factor at 17% for 6 years is 3.589. 3.589. Is it clear? Multiply by 14. Your answer is 50.25. 7. In 7th year, we will get 100 back plus 14 rupees dividend. A yearly છે ભાઈ, half yearly નથી આ. Yearly 14 rupees we are getting. So 114, and present value of 7th year at 17% is 0.333. Multiply with the 114, you will get 37.96. કેલ્ક્યુલેટ કરો બરાબર. નાનો એક્ઝામ્પલ છે, 4 માર્ક મળી જશે within 2-3 minutes. Sigma PV of the total of these two is 88 rupees and 21 paisa. 88 rupees and 21 paisa. So I think 90 rupees it is available in a market, and present value is 88 rupees 21 paisa. Now tell me, we have to buy or not? Present value is 88.21 paisa and available by 90 rupees. મૂર્ખા છીએ કે buy કરીએ? Why we are going to pay more? So this understanding we have to get from this valuation concept. This understanding also we have to develop for any type of asset. When we are investing with the purpose is what? That how much we are getting back, how much we are getting benefit by this investment. And this logic we have to understand. In your actual life, when you will enter, at that time this type of situation will come. We have to invest or not. So that is only possible when you will calculate the future benefits with the you have to convert the future benefits into present value by discounting factor or current expected rate prevailing in a market. You have to find out. This current prevailing rate is nothing but bank rate. We may say that you are getting on FD. That may be one of the current prevailing rate in a market. So when you are investing in other investment, at that time you have to compare with the bank rate, that I am getting less or more. If you are getting more, then you have to go for the investment, and vice versa. So this type of sense we must have to develop for the investment in a business or in a securities. Is it clear? So now I am putting here comma. In 5th part, we will go for the valuation of equity shares. Very difficult, because equity share dividend is not fixed. In a debenture and bond and preference share, everything is fixed. On debenture or bond, interest is fixed. Preference share, dividend is fixed. But equity share, no fixed dividend. So it becomes somewhat difficult to value the equity shares. That we'll see in next 5th part of our unit number 1, that is valuation of securities. Now I am requesting you, please refer again, go again, and also calculate all the examples in the notebook and write down everything in the notebook. And by this writing, you will find you feel comfortable with these calculations. So don't waste your time. Please practice it, and you will find command over that. Okay, thank you. See you again.